Ladies and gentlemen, Wekiva High School welcomes you to Mustang Arena for varsity basketball competition. Please welcome our guests from Jones High School. They are the Tigers. And they'll be taking on your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Before we begin our game this evening, we ask that you please stand as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. And now, let's meet the teams. We'll begin with our guests from Jones. And we'll start at wing with 6'5" senior number 1, Jeremiah Bars. At center, 6'4" junior number 2, Eddie Kelly. At point guard, 5'11" senior number 4, Colonel Robbins. At guard, 6'1" senior number 10, Colson Lundy. And finally for the Tigers, at guard, 6'1" senior number 21, Alberto E.J. Roll. The head coach of the Tigers, Alex Jackson, with assistant coaches Rob Ross, Roderick Davenport, and Tony Atkins. And now let's meet the starting lineup for your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Starting at power forward with 6'5" sophomore, number 24, Isaiah Bannister Duchet. At guard, 6' sophomore, number 15, Kerry Davis. At point guard, 6' junior, number 3, Jalaric Hammond. At shooting guard, 6'4", senior, number 1, Donovan Stokes. And finally for the Mustangs at power forward, 6'3", senior, number 12, Nikhil Edward. The head coach of the Mustangs is Jacino Lubin. Assistant coaches Charles Hartley and Rodney Oliver. And correction, Anthony Henson is starting for the Tigers, not Colson Lundy. The officials for tonight's game are from the Central Florida Officials Association. Here in Orlando, we thank them for their dedicated service to our high school athletic programs and join them along with our participating schools, reminding everyone to make great sportsmanship a part of this and every athletic competition. A reminder that tonight's game is being broadcast live on YouTube and the NFHS network. If you have friends and family who are not able to join us in person tonight and they'd like to tune in, just have them search for Wekiva Sports on their favorite computer, smart TV, or mobile device on the YouTube app, or go to the NFHS network and search for either Wekiva or Jones. And for those of you who have already done so and are watching us online right now, we want to welcome you to Mustang Arena. Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, joined tonight by Neil Fisher of the Apopka Chief, and we are ready to get going with our headline event, albeit about 15 minutes later than we originally intended.
As always, Mark, an excellent job of the introductions and the pregame festivities. And we're not even 5 seconds in, and we already got a turnover. That's Wekiva gaining possession in the white uniforms with the maroon numbers and trim. Jones in their traditional black with the orange numbers and white trim. And, well, 2 turnovers, 1 possession for each team, ending in the turnovers. So we come in tonight. Wekiva's story is very simply they have lost 5 straight games, 6-10, and they certainly need to get a win here. Of course, we are not that far from the postseason. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only 8 more games left. The postseason start the first week in February with the district championship tournament. and no team wants to go in on a losing streak. So Wekiva needs to break this streak as Jones begins the assault, the offensive assault. Field goal, no good. And they do get the offensive rebound, and that's where we stand. On the other hand, Jones, with possession of the ball, they are on a 9-game losing streak, only 3-11. Actually, excuse me, a 6-game losing streak, 3-11 for the year. So pretty much in the same boat, so to speak, as Wekiva. Both teams looking to break a long losing streak and looking to be able to gain some momentum, gain some confidence heading into the postseason. About 2/3 of the way through the regular season as Wekiva has possession of the ball. That's a baseline attempt by Davis, unable to go. Jones with the rebound, and they turn it over. Quick hands by Hammond. Down to Bannister Doucette, trying to go to the bank in the withdrawal. Does not get the basket, but does draw the foul.
Isaiah Bannister Doucette fouled on the attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot 2 for the Mustangs. The foul is called against Tigers number 4, Colonel Robbins, his first, the team's first. First free throws of the game. No points scored in the opening minute and 44 seconds. First free throw away, and with a little help from the rim, it's in there. Mustangs on the board.
And if you just tuned in after Mark announced their starting lineups, of course, Jones, as we mentioned, they are in the black jerseys with the orange and white orange numbers, white trims, as we have a lane violation.
Yep. Lane violation called against the Tigers. One more shot.
So Davis will get another opportunity, a reprieve, if you will. Their starting lineup, Jones, that's Barzay, the wing, 6'5". Kelly, 6'4", center. Robbins, the point guard, 5'11". Lundy, the guard, 5'10", and Rowe, the guard, also 5'10". And at the other end, a travel for Jones.
Yeah, Colonel Robbins is called there for traveling. Mustangs ball. Checking into the game for the Mustangs, number 11, Jared Bryan.
So Wekiva looking to break a 5-game losing streak, gain some momentum with an opportunity to further increase that 2-0 lead. 2 minutes into this game.
Colonel Robbins redeeming himself there with a quick jab, but not able to control the ball. It stays with the Mustangs. Jones leaves one man in the backcourt to deal with Hammond. Hammond gets double teamed, has a tough pass, and we're going to get a foul. Tiger foul is called against number 2, Eddie Kelly, his first, the team's second.
So Wekiva comes in again with a 6-10 record. They've lost 5 consecutive games. They were 6-5 when the 2020 calendar year end. But since then, they have not really played all that well. They certainly have taken a drop in the quality of play. Their starting lineup at point forward, Bannister Doucette. At guard, Kerry Davis.
Mark Hammond for 3.
As we get the tray, as Mark just announced. And we're going to also get a foul here on the ensuing inbound attempt.
Foul is called against on the loose ball against Tigers number 1, Jeremiah Bars, his first, the team's third, and so the Mustangs will get an extra possession.
So point forward, starting lineup for Wekiva, it's Bannister Doucette, Davis at guard, point guard Hammond, Stokes the shooting guard, and Edwards your point.
Nikhil Edward picks up 2 for the Mustangs.
And speaking of Edward, as Mark just announced, he drops the deuce. And another turnover for Wekiva. So certainly the best possible start for Wekiva in terms of the score. That turnover notwithstanding.
Out of bounds, Tigers ball.
Wekiva off to a 7-0 lead. Again, not the most highest quality of player, the most consistent, but in terms of the score, can't complain about a 7-0 lead, 2-0 and 2.5 into a ball game. And drain the rain.
Colonel Robbins to Anthony Henson for 3. And we'll pause for a timeout. Full timeout requested by the Tigers.
So the tray cuts the lead to 7-3. And we will return with 5:20 remaining in the first quarter Wekiva's led from start to finish. This is the Wekiva Mustangs Athletic Network. And we return to action from Mustang Arena. Neil Fisher, Mark Barchi, Wekiva Mustangs Athletic Network. Wekiva with a 7-3 lead in possession of the ball.
Donovan Stokes here is called for traveling. Tigers ball.
So both teams so far have committed 3 turnovers. Jones is the opponent. They are in the black uniforms with the orange numbers, white trim, and they will take over possession of the ball. 5:13 remaining in the first quarter. The inbound pass. And on the third attempt, gets the roll.
Putback made by Eddie Kelly.
So the Jones Tigers doing work under the board. That goes along with their tray, and the lead is now 7-5 as Wekiva brings the ball up court. Good job of Wekiva with the passing to break that three-quarters defense. This is Hammond. He's going to slip around, try to get the 15-foot, rolls in and out, and Jones pulling down some strong rebounds, comes back the other way with possession. Into the corner. Roll. Recovers the ball. He'll drop it back to the top. Gets the ball back. Tries the Drace line. Fall back and drains the J.
Jump shot scored by E.J. Roll.
So Wekiva scored the first 7 points. Jones has scored the last 7. We are 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Scramble. Got some hot potato action going on. Finally, Jones corrals the ball. Quick pass down to the right wing extended with Henson. Rotates it around to the left wing, Barzay. And he'll pick up a pick and get the ball back on the pick and roll. And stop, pops, and drops from 6 feet.
Tiger basket by Jeremiah Bars. And so now the Tigers on a run, a 9-0 run after trailing 7-0. Boy, Neil, this is starting to shape up very similarly to the JV contest.
Yeah, same thing, same exact scenario at the start of that game, with Wekiva scoring the first 7 points and then Jones scoring 9 in a row after that run. So Wekiva looking to break this 9-0 run. They come in on a 5-game losing streak, and, well, something of a circus shot. Dropped the deuce.
Nikhil Edward for 2.
And now the turnover, that's Laster, and he can't get a little too much force, and Jones will come back the other way and try to break that tie. 9-9 is the score, 5 minutes into this varsity contest.
Checking into the game for the Mustangs, Talario Pringle.
We are at live from Mustang Gymnasium, underneath the triad of stampeding horses on that far wall. Jones with possession. They inbound the ball from 10 feet. Score it for Rowell.
Basket by E.J. Roll from Colonel Robbins.
And Wekiva takes over possession. They'll bring that ball up as quick as they can. This is Pringle, a late season JV call-up. Down to Stokes. He passes it to Davis. The tray, no good. And scramble. Ball goes out of bounds. Possession will remain with Wekiva. 2:32 remaining in the first quarter.
Checking into the game for the Tigers, number 22, LaVord Thomas.
So Wekiva will inbound it. Laster, Isaiah Laster will do the inbounding for Wekiva in the white jerseys. They're down 11-9 to Jones. This is Bannister Doucette, who's going to try the fade. And it's short. Rebound by Jones. Again, doing work underneath that board. Some strong rebounding. We come back the other way with Barzay. Kicks it out to the corner. Off the heel. Henson with the attempt. And Jones will keep possession of the ball.
Foul is called against number 24, Isaiah Bannister-Duchette. That's his first personal foul. The team's first, checking back into the game for the Mustangs, Jamarick Hammond.
Jones inbounds the ball. Rotate out to the corner. And that's Robinson called for the traveling. Excuse me, a foul, actually.
Team control foul is called against Shelton Taylor.
So the fourth turnover by Jones, and just as quickly we get a second whistle.
Technical foul is called against Anthony Henson, his first, the team's fifth. Shooting free throws for the Mustangs, Donovan Stokes.
And so you heard Mark calling what has just happened, a technical foul called on Jones. And Stokes at the line now for Wekiva, wearing those white jerseys. Jones in their traditional black. And the second free throw no good, so that keeps Jones in the lead at 11-10, 2:10 remaining in the first quarter.
Mustangs ball at half court. So, Neil, as you've mentioned many times before, one of the extra penalties of a technical foul, not only do you lose the two free throw attempts, you also lose possession. Of course, Wekiva had possession anyway, but it automatically moves the ball to the front court.
Yeah, I just always think the fact that you get that extra possession is the most important benefit. As Stokes doing work off the board.
Donovan Stokes on the putback.
And there you see why I think getting that extra possession after the free throws is so important.
Foul is called against number 23, Talario Pringle. That's his first, the team's second. At the line, shooting one for the three-point play is number 12, Keyshawn Robinson. Checking into the game for the Tigers is number 10, Colson Lundy.
So with the score 12-11, Wekiva in the lead. Consider this, Mark. Jones comes down, make a tremendous play, and they get the three-point play. But because of that extra possession after the technical, Wekiva still has a 4-3 advantage in the exchange of possessions. So that's, again, why I think getting that extra possession after those technicals are so the most important benefit of the technical. Of course, now we're going to get a turnover and a foul.
Block is called against number 3. Jamarick Hammond hits his first personal foul, the team's third. Checking into the game for him is Talario Pringle.
And the over-the-top pass, Barzay unable to get the rolls off the rim, but Jones doing work under the board and coming up with another offensive rebound, their fifth of the period. 1.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Jones in the black jersey with possession, rotates it, a fake shot, quick hand by Pringle, and he's off to the races. Certainly the JV call-up is making a name for himself in his first couple of games. He'll go to the line with an opportunity to tie this ball game.
Foul called against number 12. Keyshawn Robinson on the block, his first, the team's sixth. At the line, shooting two for the Mustangs, Talario Pringle.
So as I just mentioned, Talario Pringle, a JV call-up here at the beginning of the calendar year, at the beginning of January. And I believe this is the third game that he's played here at Mustang Gymnasium since he's been called up to the varsity level. And I have to say, all three games, he's made some mistakes, but he certainly has made a presence out there, good or bad.
Putback made by Donovan Stokes. So that's the best possible outcome, is to make one, miss one, and get the putback.
Yeah,
three for the price of two. And that also means that Wekiva has bonus for the entire second quarter, plus the last minute of this.
And the rain coming from Lundy.
3-point basket scored by Colson Lundy.
And that will put Jones back in front 17-15. Wekiva with possession. White jersey, Stokes being hounded on the double team in the corner. And some quick hands by Thomas, LeVar Thomas, making that turnover and then drawing the foul.
Mustang foul is called against number 23, Talario Pringle. That's his second personal foul. The team's fourth.
And again, Mark, as I mentioned, when Pringle was at the free throw line on Wekiva's last possession, as he actually comes out now, he's a JV call-up, and he's made some positive plays and he's made some negative, but I like the fact that he's out there willing to put himself out.
To the paint, easy layup, except that it isn't, and then we get basket scored by number 1, Jeremiah Bars.
And now the lead is 19-15 favor of Jones as they go full court man-to-man, 20 seconds in the first quarter. This is Hammond. Passes it out to Laster, who's going to come down the right block. And
Isaiah Laster is fouled on the attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot 2 for the Mustangs. Foul is called against Tigers, number 13, Shelton Taylor. His second personal foul, the team's 7th.
So Wekiva, as you mentioned, they're in the bonus, and we're not even out of the first quarter.
It wouldn't have mattered on this one. This one was going up anyway.
But then you also add to that the fact they've already taken 9 free throw attempts. So certainly a great opportunity for Wekiva to create a very big advantage at the free throw line in this first half. 11.9 seconds remaining.
Again, keep in mind, Wekiva opened this game with a 7-0 run. Checking into the game for the Mustangs, Isaiah Bannister-Duchette.
So Jones takes over possession. It will be Barzay with the inbound. Gets the ball back. Under 10 seconds now. Nice job by Jones. 3 passes to get it in the front court. Down to the corner. No rain, but the slam. Oh, the answer. And that's going to end the first half at 21-16. Jones in the lead.
Shelton Taylor gets the putback dunk, and that will take us to the end of the first period. It is a 5-point lead for the Tigers after the Mustangs opened 7-0. 21-16 is the score at the end of 8 minutes. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. The Mustangs have the opening possession of the second period. Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, here with Neil Fisher from the Apopka Chief, ready to help you enjoy the second period. Falling basket, and Donovan Stokes wanted a call there, but he's not going to get one. However, the Tigers will. I think this is probably going to be on Laster.
So Jones.
Oh, no, I lied. It's going to be out of bounds call. So
Okay.
There's apparently no foul on the play, just a straight up turnover.
And we also got a timeout.
All right. Full timeout called by the Mustangs. We'll be right back. All right, so a little bit of confusion there as Coach Lubin intended to call a 30-second timeout, but the official did not acknowledge that. And Coach Lubin did not acknowledge the official when confirming, and so it ends up being charged as a full timeout even though they were done in about 20 seconds.
And in the meantime, Jones has a 21-16 lead here early in the second quarter. That's a no-go, but some great fingertip action down low to keep that ball alive for Kelly. Unfortunately, it was a 3-on-1 disadvantage.
Bush is called against number 2, Eddie Kelly, his second, the team's 8th.
Wekiva took a 7-0 lead. Jones came back and scored 9 in a row. The two teams then traded leads twice. And when all was said and done, Jones scored the last 7 points of the first quarter, and they went into the second quarter 21-16 lead.
And since that was a loose ball foul, that will put the Mustangs into bonus. At the line shooting 1-1 is number 24, Isaiah Bannister-Duchette.
So Bannister-Duchette will go to the line with 2 points, and again the score is 21-16. Jones in the lead. They are the team in the black jersey, Wekiva in the white jersey. And again, talked about that 7-0 lead that Wekiva took. You would think that Jones probably was not shooting that well, but nothing could be further from the truth. They actually rebounded very nicely, ending that first quarter at 56% from the field, 9 of 16, including a pair of trays. Wekiva shooting respectively at 46, of course, still 10 points behind Jones. And Jones also has a big advantage in rebounds, 10-5. As the tray is no good, some work under the board in the foul.
Hold is called against number 1, Donovan Stokes, his first, the team's 5th.
Free throws are decidedly in Wekiva's advantage. They have not only gone to the line more, but they've made more. They're 6 of 8. Jones only going to the free throw line once, and they made that. So a 5-point difference for Wekiva at the free throw line, but they're giving up 10 percentage points from the field. And that's Laster pulling down the rebound, but actually he stepped out of bounds. He got tangled up with Colson Lundy right along that baseline.
Yeah, that's one where from this angle I couldn't see whether he established possession in bounds and then committed a turnover, or whether he actually rebounded already out of bounds, and therefore that would just be a team rebound. Either way, it doesn't matter. Actually, they gave the ball to Wekiva, so I'm guessing it went off of the Tigers then. Yeah, that was not a great angle for us here at the score table. Contrary to popular belief, sometimes courtside seats here at half court are not necessarily the best seats in the house for every play. We got a bunch of personnel changes coming in here.
6:35 before halftime, 21-18. Jones with the lead in the black jerseys, and they will have possession of the ball. Wekiva keeps possession of the ball. Oh, nice, easy, right into
Jamaric Hammond into the arms of Nikhil Edward. Well, that was just blown coverage is all that is.
That was a belated Christmas gift. Not sure what happened on the Jones defense, but I mean, there was no one within 3 feet of that inbound pass, and now they'll get another Christmas gift on this turnover. As Wekiva looks to take the lead, they're down 21-20. They got possession of the ball, and this is Stokes with the spin. Too hot off the bank, but doing work.
Isaiah Bannister-Duchette on the putback.
So Bannister-Duchette, right place, right time, and kept his momentum leaning towards the basket. And Wekiva takes a 22-21 lead from the corner. Henson drains the rain.
Anthony Henson for 3, the pass from Robbins.
Jones back in the lead, 24-22. 2 minutes into the second quarter in this varsity action on a Tuesday night from Mustang Gymnasium. This Hammond trying to beat these double team, which he does. Passes over to Edward down to the corner of the Bannister-Duchette. No rebound, offensive rebound, no go. And Jones grabs that rebound, doing some strong Windex work, and we come the other way.
We're going to get a foul on the baseline. Mustangs still have one more foul to give. Foul called against Mustangs number 24, Isaiah Bannister-Duchette. That's his second personal foul, the team's sixth.
So Jones with possession, looking to tie this ball game. And they will not do it from the field, but an opportunity from the free throw line.
Eddie Kelly is fouled on the attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot two. The foul is called against number 24, Isaiah Bannister-Duchette. That's his third personal foul, with team's seventh.
5:24 remaining before halftime. Both teams are now in the foul, in the bonus. So, so strap up those seatbelts because we're going to start seeing some free throws. Still got 5.5 minutes before halftime. Both teams in bonus. And Kelly unable to convert the first free throw, keeps the score at 24-22. Jones in the lead. Both teams looking to break significant losing streaks. Jones has lost 8 in a row. Wekiva has lost 5 in a row. And I'm not sure what that call was, but Kelly's not going to get this.
That's going to be a lane violation on the shooter. Mustangs ball.
Okay.
Donovan Stokes back into the game for the Mustangs. So another gift. The Tigers are being generous tonight.
Yeah, opportunity for Jones to increase that lead goes by the wayside. Long pass to Laster, who floats in the air and draws the foul.
Isaiah Laster fouled on the attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot two for the Mustangs. The foul is called against Tigers. Number 21, E.J. Roll on the block. That's his first, the team's ninth.
Wekiva 8 of 10 from the free throw line tonight. So that's almost a third of their points coming from the free throw line. Laster at the line. And nice, soft, smooth stroke. Second point of the game for Laster, who did miss several games due to injury. He just returned, I believe, 2 games ago. And another whistle, and I believe another lane violation.
Yeah, this was called on Jacatine. Lane violation. Tigers ball.
So you can complain about the refs making the call, but you certainly can't complain about them being fair. Both teams called for lane violations on their previous possessions. Jones with possession, looking to increase the lead. It's a 1-point lead. And they will not, as a travel is called.
Traveling, Mustangs ball.
Neil Fisher, Mark Barchi, bringing you the live action on the Wekiva Mustangs Athletic Network. Wekiva with possession of the ball with the white jerseys, taking on Jones. And the black jersey on defense, 5 minutes before halftime. 24-23 is the lead. Jones holding the lead. This is Stokes, the point guard. And he's going to bounce pass it along the baseline. Davis unable to get the drop.
And picked off by Stokes, and we're going to get a foul.
So Stokes staying energetic, active, and harassment.
Block is called against Tigers number 3, Austin Roll. His first personal foul, the team's 10th. At the line shooting 2 is number 1, Donovan Stokes.
Stokes staying active along that baseline pays dividends. Can't get the first free throw, kicks off the heel. And so Wekiva will not be able to take the lead on this possession. Stokes still has an opportunity to tie the game at 24. And he does with that second opportunity. Soft stroke. And Jones will take over possession, looking to regain the lead. Cross the paint pass. Great interception by Wekiva. There was 3 Mustangs, and they get up that court quickly. Back up to the key with Stokes. And he's going to dish it off to Charles. His first action of the night. And Charles Gets a little too eager, tried to make a move before, was thinking about what to do with the ball before he actually had it. So Jones will bring the ball up. Again, Jones in the black uniforms, Wekiva in the white. Approaching 4 minutes before halftime. And Avera drains the rain.
E.J. Roll for three.
Excuse me, E.J. Roll. So E.J. Roll puts Jones back in front, 27-24, as Wekiva looks to answer with possession. Davis hands off to Stokes. Stokes will try the right side. He hands off to Charles. Charles coming up to the top, and he's going to get called for a foul. Pushing off. Okay, excuse me, it was a Wekiva foul, but it was on...
Foul called against Mustangs, number 21, Rogi Jacatine on the screen, his first. Team's eighth. No bonus shots for offensive fouls, but it turns the ball over to the Tigers.
And so Jones, who just broke a 24-24 tie, now with an opportunity to further increase that lead in the black jerseys. Roll with possession down the corner. He's going to give it back up to the top. Henson, who resets the offense down the row, wants to drive the baseline. Immediately double teamed by Wekiva, and the defense pays off in the form of a turnover.
Out of bounds. Mustangs ball.
So Roll unable to balance himself against the double team, and Wekiva takes over possession. Jones in full court, man-to-man. Wekiva in the white jersey. Stokes again brings the ball up, crosses midcourt. Left wing extended. 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter. 27-24. Wekiva trails. Charles tries to take the ball to the rack, but he's rejected. 3:01 remaining before halftime. It's Neil Fisher, Mark Barchi bringing you the action from Mustang Gymnasium. And also the video camera as Laster unable to convert off the front heel. Jones comes down the other way, looking to increase that 27-24 lead. The bounce pass, the second pass, back out to the right wing extended. Drain the rain for
Anthony
Henson.
Henson for three on the pass from Shelton Taylor.
So a pair of trays has broken a 24-24 tie and spurred Jones into a 30-24 lead. 2.5 minutes remaining. Again, also want to, after this, as the bank, the withdrawal.
Donovan Stokes to Jared Bryan for two.
And 30-26. Jones with possession. So the no good on the tray, off the heel. Couple of hands on it, and Stokes comes up with that loose ball on the left side of the block. Quick outlet pass underneath the rim.
Charles on the pass to Jared Bryan.
And so Wekiva taking advantage of Jones not getting back on defense. And the lead was 6, now 30-28. And Wekiva in another transition. 1-on-1, actually 2-on-1. Bryan taking another pass. Great work underneath by Barzay, who got between that ball and blocked it. And so 1:30 remaining. Oh, the pass underneath to Taylor.
Putback is made by Shelton Taylor. Yeah, the dazzling play didn't go in, but the much more mundane putback counts for the same number of points.
Yep, they're all worth a deuce when they're under the hoops. So also, want to say on this broadcast is the broadcast production students here at Wekiva. They handle the video and the camera portion of our broadcast. And a nice easy deuce off the bank for Jones.
A.J. Roll picks up the layup for Jones.
Wekiva had cut the lead to 2 points. Jones now back up to 34-28. A 4-0 run. And we're going to also get a foul. Wekiva will go back to the line.
Push is called against Tigers, number 11, Anthony Henson. His second personal foul at the line, shooting double bonus for the Mustangs, Donovan Stokes.
50 seconds remaining in the first half.
I am not sure why Hammond's photo is showing up on the Donovan Stokes graphic. I'll look at that at halftime.
Well, Stokes makes no never mind to Stokes. He converts that first free throw, and that leaves the score at 34-29. Jones has led for most of the second half. The first half was a back-and-forth affair. Both teams starting the games with runs. Wekiva 7 in a row, and then Jones 9 in a row. And the second free throw as good as the first, nothing but net, 34-30. Jones with possession, looking to increase that 34-30 lead. Contact, no call. Outlet to Barzay, who drains the rain.
Jeremiah Barzay for 3 on the pass from Robbins.
And that tray increases Jones' lead to 7, the biggest of the night, 37 seconds remaining. And before things get out of hand, well, actually, we're not going to have a timeout, excuse me.
No, that was just a substitution. Tamara Hammond into the game for Stokes.
So Wekiva will take over possession of the ball. And
too much time on the inbounds. Tigers ball. Yeah, that was just good man-to-man full-court coverage by the Tigers.
Yeah,
Laster didn't have any good options.
Yeah, Wekiva got a bit disheveled, too, as well. The inbound
that's what you get
Taylor.
for being the tallest guy on the court.
That's
Taylor on the pass in from Robbins.
Just the way the coaches draw it up in practice. And now a 9-point lead for Jones, the biggest of the game. Wekiva needs a basket. They need that basket going into halftime. Get some confidence, some momentum. But also you want to cut that lead. You don't want that lead to, 9-point lead to become 18 really quick at the start of the second half. This is Laster, and he's going to throw up an air ball. So things have gone from bad to worst, the worst possible situation in about 30 seconds for Wekiva. As I mentioned, Wekiva needed to get a basket. They were unable to do that. And in addition, I guess you say the insult to injury now is Jones can take that lead above 10. 7 seconds remaining. And they're going to get this last shot off. No, they're not. So Wekiva does at least dodge something of a bullet there, but still the lead increased from 3 points to 9 in the last minute and a half or so of the first half.
That takes us to halftime. And the Tigers have put up a 9-point lead going into the locker rooms. 39-30 is the score at intermission here in the varsity contest of our doubleheader in Tuesday night basketball. We'll be back after the break. Ladies and gentlemen, here are your halftime stats, beginning with the Tigers. Eddie Kelly with 2 points, 4 rebounds, 1 steal, and a blocked shot. Colson Lundy, 3 points, 2 rebounds. Kayshawn Robinson, 3 points, 1 rebound in the first half. Jeremiah Barzay has 7 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, and a blocked shot. Shelton Taylor, 6 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. And co-leading their team for the first half, Anthony Henson with 9 points, 2 rebounds. E.J. Roll with 9 points as well. As for the Mustangs, Talario Pringle has a free throw. Jamaric Hammond with 3 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. Isaiah Laster, 3 points and a rebound. Jared Bryan, 4 points so far. Isaiah Bannister-Doucette, 5 points, 1 rebound. Nikhil Edward, 6 points and 2 steals. Jared Bryan, if I didn't mention it before, has 4 points. And Donovan Stokes leads his team for the first half with 8 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals. The Tigers have the opening possession of the second half. And welcome back to Mustang Arena. We stayed live for a lot more of halftime than we normally would because cheerleaders were treating us to a cheer-off. I'm not sure what the official name for that is, but we appreciate them adding some enthusiasm and some spirit to the arena. Again, Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, here with Neil Fisher from the Apopka Chief, and we've got a 9-point lead. The Mustangs started off with a 7-0 run, but that momentum quickly evaporated as the first half went on. The Mustangs plagued by turnovers, and the Tigers able to take advantage up until the point where now the Mustangs come out trying to make up a 9-point deficit and not end up with a repeat of Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, a 39 to 23 advantage for Jones since that initial 4 minutes or so in which Wekiva took the 7-0 lead. And possession will be exchanged. Wekiva will take over.
Hold is called against E.J. Roll, his second personal foul. The team's first of this half.
39 to 30 is the score overall, and certainly the stats reflect that, in particular the shooting. As Charles unable to drop the tray, Jones shooting 16 of 28. That's a 57% clip, and that includes 6 made from beyond the arc. As we are going to get a turnover, and Jones will take over.
Offensive charge is called against number 11, Anthony Henson. That's his third personal foul. The team's second this half. That turns the ball over to the Mustangs. Charge taken by Kerry Davis.
And that is Davis, and he turns the ball over. So a rough start for both teams. Of course, if you're Jones, you can far more afford to have this rush start with a 9-point lead. Again, Jones shot 57% in that first period, first half. 16 of 28 from the field. That includes 6 trays. Wekiva started off very respectable. They were shooting around 50%. As Mark mentioned, they took that 7-0 lead. Now they have steadily dropped their percentage. They're all the way down to 36. 9 of 25 from the field. Jones also holds a 20-30 advantage in rebounds. Wekiva does have the advantage in free throws and turnovers, though. 14-9 in turnovers. 1 of 3 for Jones from the charity stripe. Wekiva 11 of 16.
Jeremiah Barza on the layup, and we'll pause for a Mustang timeout.
Yeah.
30-second timeout called by the Mustangs.
And so with the score 41-30, Wekiva definitely, those free throws at 10-point advantage is certainly keeping them at least within calling distance. But nonetheless, they have to make up some ground here when we come back with 6:40.
Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Parchi here with Neil Fisher as Wekiva is struggling to get back into this one. They trail by 11 after having a 7-point lead to begin the game. And Donovan Stokes loses his dribble and it goes straight out of bounds for a turnover. For those counting, and unfortunately we are, that's turnover number 11 for the Mustangs tonight.
Both teams looking to break significant losing streaks. Wekiva losing 5 in a row, Jones 6. Short on the tray, but the offensive rebound pulled down, given back to Kelly. And the third opportunity, the fourth by Barzay, and he not only draws the deuce, but the foul.
Jeremiah Barzay gets the basket and a chance to make it a 3-point play. The Mustang foul is called against number 12, Nikhil Edward. That's his first personal foul, the team's first of this half as well. Vosi Prophet is into the game for the Mustangs, and Jeremiah Barzay shooting 1.
So Barzay will be looking to up that lead to 44-30, and he does with ease. Largest lead of the night for Jones. Wekiva with possession as we approach 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter. 5 consecutive points have opened up this third quarter for Jones, increasing a 9-point lead to 14, and some much-needed points for Wekiva.
Avia Charles with a second-chance basket.
Charles with the putback, and now Wekiva going to a trap, a full-court trap.
And, yeah, that's a smart timeout right there. They were in trouble.
Jones, that is.
30-second timeout called by the Tigers. We'll be right back.
And we return to Mustang Arena. 44-32 is the score. Jones has led since early in the second period. Jones now has possession of the ball. Wekiva did score the last 2 points, so certainly Wekiva has an opportunity to create some momentum, some much-needed momentum.
And they are going to say Wekiva touched that on the way out, so it will stay with the Tigers. at the opposing baseline. 5:37 to go here in the third.
A 9-point lead was extended to 14 here in the early part of the second half by Jones.
And Neil, we've talked a lot about this season how, boy, Wekiva might have a better record if games were only 16 minutes long. And we talked about that last season as well. And I think that speaks to the fact that after you had that graduating class that included, Paul Reed and company, and Wekiva entered a rebuilding program, you lost a lot of experience, not just in terms of age, but in terms of just time on the court, as Varsity adds 2 for the Tigers. And to me, there are 2 main reasons that you see teams fade as the game continues to go on, as Profit draws a foul here. I'll get back to that point in just a moment after we call the foul. Bosie Profit is fouled in the attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. The foul is called against Eddie Kelly, his 3rd personal foul, and the team's 3rd as well. So what I started to say was that there are 2 reasons that you see teams struggle to perform as the more the game wears on. One is just sheer stamina. Just out of gas, need to put in more time in the gym and build up that stamina. So that's one reason. The other reason, which I frankly think is the bigger one, is getting in your own head, because it's inevitable at some point during the game you're going to screw up, you're going to make a mistake, and the question is whether you let that get to you and then get in your head and then it disrupts your momentum long term, or whether you're able to bounce back for that and say, you know what, it's in the past now, move on to the next play. It's easy for you and I to say that. It's a lot harder to actually do it.
Certainly, and of course, as a former athlete, no, I did not. I did play basketball, but hockey and baseball were the 2 sports that I excelled at. But nonetheless, that does translate what you were just describing in terms of being inside your own head in any sport. And Wekiva now, again, you look at this game, you could say they need to get something going here. They need to get some baskets. They need to get some stops. But just if you look at the season overall, as we're going to have a foul, that applies as well.
Clock is called against number 11, Jared Bryan. His first, the team's 2nd this half.
And, Wekiva went 6-5 through the first half of the season, the first 11 games. And that was about as best as you could expect them. Again, Wekiva only won 3 games last season. This is pretty much the same team last season. As you get the great pass and the withdrawal by Barzay.
Barzay from Colonel Robbins for 2. And yeah, that's, like I said, Neil, that's what we've seen a lot from Wekiva both this season and last season, is that things will go well at the beginning of the game, but as soon as the first thing goes wrong and it lets a little air out of Wekiva's tires, they're not able to bounce back from it.
Yeah, and what I was saying in terms of the overall season, as that bucket will not drop, but some great work on the board by Kelly, and Wekiva dodges the proverbial bullet there.
Profit had a good look, but it's blocked by Barzay.
As we get a whistle, overall, they were 6-5, probably about as best as you could expect. Certainly an improvement from last season, winning twice as many through the first half of the season as they had the whole season the previous season. And since then, though, since they got that 6th win against Pine Ridge at the end of 2020, it's been really a downhill. And it just seems like, to your point, Mark, they do a lot of good things, but then in each of the games, they just seem to, the quality of the play seems to progressively drop as we get into the second half. And I think that's something that's being carried from game to game now, whereas in that first half when they were 6-5, at least it was inconsistent. They do that one game, and then the next game the play would improve. The quality of play would improve.
Yeah, and Neil, that's the difference between average teams and championship quality teams, as we get a 3-point basket from Keyshawn Robinson on the pass from LaVord Thomas. And that's what we saw that year that Wekiva went to the state championship game. We haven't really seen it since. Here we're going to get a foul as Bannister Duchette fouled on the attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot 2 for the Mustangs. Foul is called against Tigers, number 13, Shelton Taylor. That's his 3rd personal foul, the team's 4th.
So again, that championship team that was at the end of the 2016-17 season. And I guess you could really say it was really a trio, but I guess you could say first among equals, of course, was Paul Reed, who is now in the NBA, drafted by the Sixers back in October in their draft. And they had a great group of players who were ready to step in. They just needed about another year or so. And they made some great progress under Coach Lubin that next season, but then the 3 players who were really carrying the load, the faces of the team,
Vosi Prophet for 3.
All transferred. All 3 of those players transferred, and so Wekiva was back at square one. And that, of course, is why they only won 3 games last season.
Vosi Prophet on the pass from Hammond. So Prophet with 2 in a row there.
Yeah, Prophet, a junior varsity call-up. We talked about Pringle in the first half. Prophet also came up with Pringle at the start of this calendar year.
Jamara Hammond fouled on the attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot 2 for the Mustangs. The foul is called against Tigers. Number 12, Keyshawn Robinson. That's his 2nd personal foul, the team's 5th.
And so, again, getting back to the point that we were talking about, after those 3 players left, they transferred, and Wekiva had to start all over from square one last season. So after it was that last year was the what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And so Wekiva was supposed to take the next step this season. And again, going back to me talking about 6-5 record, it looked like they were taking that next step. And now, to be honest, they've lost 5 in a row. And during this streak, it just looks like not even within each individual game, as you've been mentioning, but just the season overall, they've been losing that steam and that stamina.
Shelton Taylor is fouled on the attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot 2 for the Tigers. The foul is called against Mustangs, number 23.
And again, to your point, Mark, it just really looks like Wekiva is just carrying that, getting inside their own head, getting inside in their own way mentally from game to game. So while we were talking, Mark, maybe they heard us. But Wekiva has actually cut the lead down to 10 points now. It's 52-42, just under 2 minutes in the 3rd quarter. And, of course, that's significant. The lead was up to 15. So this is Charles with the dribble. Actually, excuse me, that's Prophet.
Gets back to Hammond.
And Hammond will set the offense. He's going to hand off. No, he's not. He's going to fake. Go down low. Try the baseline, Jay. Too hot. Long pass down the other way. Jones looking to increase that lead. Short. Stokes doing work, grabbing the Windex. And he passes up to Hammond, who now steps over half court. Hammond into the corner to Prophet, looking to get some more points, and he does with the baseline drive.
We'll see Prophet for 2.
So Prophet coming in, dropping 6 points. 6 very much needed points by Wekiva. And Wekiva's cut the lead down to 8, and they will also get the ball back, possession, on this foul. So Wekiva was down by as many as 15 just about 4 minutes ago. An opportunity to cut the lead down to 6 and possibly even 5. And certainly this has all occurred with Prophet, the junior varsity call-up. Maybe perhaps not tangibly, but at least it seems intangibly Prophet has given his team a lift.
Yeah, taking the charge from Colonel Robbins on that last play. Stops, pops, and it drops. Varsity Profit picks up his 10th point of the game.
In a 6-point deficit. Again, 15 just 4 minutes ago, 52-46.
Hold is called against Mustangs, number 24, Isaiah Bannister Duchette. That's his 4th personal foul, the team's 4th. Checking into the game for the Mustangs, number 12, Nikhil Edouard.
So, I mentioned that Profit maybe not tangibly has given the team a lift, but intangibly, well, looking at the stats, he has 10 points. So I would definitely say
he's the leading scorer. J.B. Collip, leading scorer for the Mustangs.
Upon further review, yes, it is tangibly as well as intangibly as we get down to the end of the third quarter. And remember, he scored all 10 of those points in the third quarter. Lead back up to 8.
Barzay on the basket.
12 seconds remaining. Hammond brings the ball up. Wekiva possession. Opportunity to get that lead back down to 6 going into the fourth quarter. Stokes is going to drive the middle. Spins. Tries the soft floater. Short. And the rebound pulled down by Roll to prevent a second opportunity.
To the end of the third quarter, and an 8-point advantage being maintained by the Tigers. Going into the final 8 minutes of this varsity contest, it's 54-46.
And so, what was once a 15-point lead has been cut down to 7. Could have been a lot worse for the Wekiva Mustangs. This is the Wekiva Athletics Network.
The Mustangs have the opening possession of the fourth quarter. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. 8 minutes to go in this contest. The Mustangs struggling to build some momentum here. They had it early, then they lost it, and now they're trying to get their mojo back. Varsity Profit has been a huge part of that, not in the game right now, but we've seen a lot of him so far, and their first possession of the fourth quarter is going to turn into a turnover. But the Tigers will return the favor as Barzay is called for traveling. Mustangs ball.
Yeah, Profit dropping 10 points in that third quarter. Again, key to remember, what was a 15-point lead about halfway through that third quarter has been cut to 8 in half by Wekiva, and of course Profit having a big hand in that with the 10 points. This is Stokes. He's going to drive the left block, drop the ball off, and got too fancy. Davis unable to corral the ball.
Yeah, he fooled the Tigers. The problem is he fooled the Mustangs too.
So Barzay will take the inbound pass, bring the ball up. That's Edward on his side. Down into the corner, the tray. And does not get the roll. There. But the rebound, Windex. Windex action by Robbins, and that'll draw a foul.
Mustang foul is called against number 12, Nikhil Edouard. That's his second personal foul. The team's 5th at the line, shooting 2, Colonel Robbins.
So Colonel Robbins at the line. And Wekiva catches a break with the first free throw missed. So talked about free throws throughout that first half. Wekiva shot 16 compared to 3 for Jones, and they converted 11 compared to 1, so a 10-point difference. And that really kept the lead under 20. They only got 2 free throws in that third quarter, Wekiva that is. And now a turnover, and Jones with an opportunity to steal momentum and slam.
Shelton Taylor from Colonel Robbins. Well, that lets some air out of the sails.
Yeah, lead is now up to 11, 57 to 46. 7 minutes remaining. We got a whistle.
Foul is called against number 11, Anthony Henson. That's his 4th personal foul. The team's 7th. And it puts the Mustangs into bonus. At the line, shooting 1-1, Donovan Stokes.
So we talked in that first, again, keep bringing up the subject of free throws, because, again, that's what's really kept Wekiva in this game, a 10-point difference in scoring in the first half. A great opportunity for Wekiva to refine that groove in terms of having an advantage at the free throw line now that they are in bonus with still 7 minutes remaining. So Wekiva shot 16 free throws in the first half, 2 in the third quarter, and now with those 2 free throws, they've matched that total here in the fourth quarter. Again, 7 minutes remaining. We'll see if Wekiva can take advantage of being in the bonus. In the meantime, Jones looking to re-increase the lead. They're up by 9. And that's exactly what they're going to do with a floating roller.
E.J. Roll rolls it in for 2.
Roll mimicking his surname with the finger roll.
Checking into the game for Wekiva, number 33, Abia Charles.
And the lead is now back up to 11, 59 to 48. 6:45 remaining. Wekiva with possession. Stokes with the dribble. Crosses midcourt down to Hammond. Left wing extended. Drain the range!
Jamarick Hammond, 4-3 from Stokes.
And the junior coming up big, cutting the lead back to 8. 59-51, 5.5 remaining.
So the Mustangs have undone the damage since the fourth quarter started. Now they'll have to see if they can chip into that anymore.
Taylor with the ball, top of the key. Back to Lundy. Back to Barze, who's the leading scorer with 18 points.
Tigers are going to be satisfied to slow the pace of this down a little bit. Wekiva putting up the pressure in the key. Spin move is not there for Taylor. Stokes on the rebound.
And Wekiva will come back looking to cut into that lead more than 8. They've been able to cut what was a 15-point lead down to 6. Opportunity to do that again. Down into the corner with Bryant and
Butterfingers. Charles can't catch the heat coming in from Bryan. Here comes Vosi Profit, Mustang's secret weapon that's losing its secrecy.
Yeah, again, Profit came in about 2 minutes into the second half, played the remainder of that third quarter, dropped 10 points.
Now he and Donovan Stokes are tied at 10 points each to co-lead the Mustangs. Of course, Stokes has a few more minutes than Profit does. Nice pass into the paint, and it's there. Barze to Lundy for 2.
Easy deuce for Jones. Defense opened up. Now Wekiva has to answer. And Hammond does just that for the tray.
Jamarick Hammond from Profit, 4-3.
So a pair of trays from Hammond when Wekiva needed them the most. And Wekiva still close enough to win this game, 61-54.
And Barze lets the ball go out of bounds. Mustangs ball. So there is another shot in the arm for Wekiva.
Yeah, again, they have been able to cut the lead down to 6. They're down to 7 now, so an opportunity to get that lead even closer, the closest they've been since early in the second quarter. This is Stokes on the 15-foot J. Windex work underneath by Bryant, but even better work by Jones, coming up with the block, and Jones off to the races.
And we've got some contact, and it's going to be a charge.
Some hard, tough, nitty-gritty defense under that basket.
Offensive charge is called against number 13, Shelton Taylor. His 4th personal foul, the team's 8th. Charge taken by Jamarick Hammond. That turns the ball over to the Mustangs. It also, again, as I just mentioned, puts 4 fouls on the board for Shelton Taylor. He has 9 points and 5 rebounds for the Tigers, so that would be a significant hindrance to their effort if he were to foul out with a lot of time left. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, so he's going to have to be a lot less aggressive. This is Stokes. And Trey extended right, would not have counted. The foul was before the shot.
Block is called against Tigers, number 4, Colonel Robbins. That's his 3rd personal foul. The team's 9th. At the line, shooting for the Mustangs, Jamarick Hammond.
And so with Hammond at the line again, the lead is 7, 61-54.
He makes the first and earns a second.
And now Wekiva has cut that lead with Hammond's free throw down to 6. That's the closest that they have been since early in the second quarter. It's the second time they've been down to 6. And you just get the feeling, Mark, that if they can get under 6, which they just did, that's kind of the watershed mark to keep that momentum going.
Oh, a swing and a miss.
And just
there.
As soon as I say that, like you said, Mark, a swing and a miss, Wekiva with the turnover and an opportunity to cut that lead further from 5, but they're not going to. Stokes lowers the shoulder.
Offensive charge is called against Donovan Stokes. His second, the team's 6th charge taken by Lundy.
4 minutes remaining, 61-56. Jones in the lead in possession.
Oh, that was too cute by half.
Yeah, outthought the room. They had an easy deuce there if they had just made a pass at shoulder width or even chest. So we're under 4 minutes. Wekiva's staged a very steady comeback, cutting the lead from 15 to 5 points, but they still have work to do. And now as we drop to 3.5, you have to wonder if they still have enough energy, enough gas in the tank after making that 10-point deficit.
Jumper by E.J. Roll, and we'll pause for a break.
And so there you might get a semblance of the answer as Roll came loose 12 feet. He was wide open and increases the lead 63-56. This is the Wekiva Mustangs Athletic Network. And Jones 63, Wekiva 56, 3:28 remaining. Tuesday night, varsity action in Central Florida from Mustang Gymnasium on the southeast side of Apopka. Jamarick Hammond wearing the white uniform of Wekiva, bringing the ball up. Again, a 7-point lead for Jones. They've led since early in the second quarter. Wekiva has cut what was once a 15-point lead down to 7. They had it to 5, but Jones answered. And we're going to get another answer doing the withdrawal reverse.
Reverse layup.
So that was not an easy shot for Edward. Not only was it physically difficult, but he had a very difficult angle to throw that ball off the bank.
So the Mustangs back down to a 5-point deficit. Both of these teams, as you mentioned earlier, trying to get out of a slump for the season. Shot by Robbins, not going to fall. Rebound goes to Hammond.
Yeah, Jones has lost 6 in a row. Wekiva's lost 5 in a row. And, of course, you never want to be in a significant losing streak, but as we enter the final third, that certainly takes on even more importance. This is Bryant into the corner for Davis. Short, off the rim, and a strong rebound for a roll, positioned himself perfectly to come down with that, and now Jones opportunity to re-increase that lead. 2 minutes remaining, 63-58. Jones has led since early in the second period. The tray, and drain the rain, the dagger to the heart of Wekiva.
E.J. Roll for 3 on the pass from Colson Lundy.
And so that is big for Jones, not only because it increases the lead from 5 to 8. You're now a 3-possession lead, but that's just momentum. Jones just had not had much momentum the last 4 or 5 minutes. And there you see that momentum translating to a turnover.
Offensive hold is called against number 3, Jamarick Hammond. That's his second personal foul, the team's 7th. No bonus shots for team control fouls, but it turns the ball over to the Tigers.
And now that tray that was hit by Rawl on that last possession also creates a situation that Jones doesn't necessarily need to score. Of course, you do want to score to re-increase that lead, but using that clock is more important. You have a 3-possession lead, so you do have some room in terms of not scoring.
Foul is called against Mustangs, number 11, Jared Bryan, his second personal foul. The team's 8th. That puts the Tigers into bonus at the line, shooting 1-1. Number 4, Colonel Robbins.
So I just mentioned that if you're Jones, your number 1 priority is to use as much of the clock, and that's obviously not going to happen on this possession. But they do have an opportunity to score some points, and they will have a second opportunity on this possession to score some points.
Shelton Taylor is fouled on the putback attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. The foul is called against Nikhil Edward. That's his 3rd, the team's 9th. So now both teams will have double bonus the rest of the game.
And so Wekiva gives Jones a second opportunity, and Jones takes advantage of it. Taylor at the line with 10 points. He won't get the second, but that first point increases the lead to 9, and we got another whistle.
Foul called against number 12, Nikhil Edward, his 4th, the team's 10th. Shooting 2 will be number 11. That's Anthony Henson.
And yet another whistle.
Well, no, that's not a foul. That's just the fact the players misunderstood it was 2 shots.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
it's double bonus.
Yeah, 10 fouls on Wekiva. So 3 consecutive trips to the free throw line for Jones, and that certainly will negate the fact that they only took about 5 seconds off the clock on the possession. They could have done better, but still they get 3 points and increase the lead to 10. That's a 4-possession lead with 1:20 remaining, and a nice tip in by Bannister Doucette doing work under the boards.
Isaiah Bannister Doucette on the putback.
But again, with us approaching 1 minute remaining in an 8-point deficit, it might be too little too late. And certainly looks that way as Barzay rips through that defense and goes to the bank.
Jeremiah Barzay. He has 20 points tonight now.
Yeah, 51 seconds remaining. Soft touch by Davis, a little too soft. And I think we just saw Wekiva's last gasp with Jones pulling down that rebound. So Jones now will just simply try to run out the clock, or at least use as much of it as possible. Coach Lubin's going to call a timeout, though. Maybe he has something up the sleeve here, rally Wekiva for one last opportunity.
Full timeout is called by the Tigers. So we'll take it with them, and we'll be back in just a moment.
We return to action at Mustang Arena. Neil Fisher, Mark Varsity, Wekiva Mustang Athletic Network, 70-60. Jones is in the lead. They have possession of the ball in the black jerseys. They have led since the early in the second quarter. And it looks like Wekiva, as they have now for 5 consecutive games, just going to run out of steam both mentally and physically. A 15-point lead was cut to 5 a couple of times, but then 5 consecutive points scored by Jones has brought this lead back up to 10. And yes, as we get down the last 5 seconds, Jones is going to run out the clock.
That takes us to the end of the ball game, and it is a 10-point victory for the Tigers here on Tuesday night basketball action. 70-60 is the final score. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you so much for coming out to support your Mustang and your Tiger athletes. Thanks also to those of you who tuned in on our live stream. We hope that you'll join us for the next game. Coming up here at Mustang Arena, we have senior night that has moved. And so that is going to be on January 25th now. The Mustangs have a home game coming up Friday against Ocoee, and then next Monday against Freedom. That's a triple header, and that game against Freedom is going to be senior night in the middle of that triple header. So we hope that you'll join us for that. Until next time, those of you here in the arena, please drive carefully and arrive home safely. Those of you watching online, we hope that you will subscribe before you leave on either YouTube or the NFHS network, or maybe even both. We'll see you on Friday night. We'll also have wrestling here tomorrow night at Mustang Arena, running 2 mats with a quad match. That will be live streamed as well. Perhaps you'll join us for that. Good night from Mustang.